The guitar feels heavier tonight, not the weight of the wood and strings that you know by heart. It's the weight of the three men sitting in the front row, their gold chains catching the cantina lights, their eyes fixed on you like you're already something they own. You're 23. You've been singing corridos in bars across Sinaloa since you were 16, back when your voice cracked on the high notes and the crowds threw pesos instead of bills. Now your voice is smooth, controlled, and you've developed something rare: the ability to make people feel the story, not just hear it. You sing about narcos like they're Greek heroes, tragic, inevitable, romanticized enough to be dangerous. The man in the center nods when you finish. He doesn't clap. Men like him don't clap. He sends a waiter with a napkin. On it, a phone number and 3 words. Call tomorrow. Noon. You almost throw it away. Almost. But your mother's medical bills sit on your kitchen table like accusations. The surgery she needs costs 280,000 pesos. You make 3,000 a week singing 6 nights in smoke-filled rooms to crowds that barely listen. You do the math. You'd need almost 2 years of perfect savings. She doesn't have 2 years. You call it noon. The voice on the other end is calm, almost friendly. He says his name is Rodrigo, but you know that's not his real name the same way you know the sun rises east. He says his boss enjoyed your performance. He says there's an opportunity. He says the word opportunity like it means something else entirely. The first job seems innocent enough. A private party at a ranch outside Culiacan. You'll sing for 3 hours. They'll pay you 50,000 pesos. Cash. That's almost 4 months of cantina wages for one night's work. You arrive at sunset. The ranch stretches beyond what your eyes can measure. White fences, imported horses, a main house that looks like something from a telenovela about old money. Armed men patrol the perimeter with the casual alertness of people who've done this 1,000 times. You count 17 before you stop counting. Inside, the party is already flowing. Politicians you recognize from television. Businessmen in suits that cost more than your car. Women in dresses that seem designed to distract from conversations that shouldn't be overheard. And at the center of it all, seated in a leather chair like it's a throne, is the man from the cantina. His name, you learn later, is Don Aurelio. He controls the plaza that stretches from the coast to the mountains. He moves product worth $40 million a month. He's responsible for at least 200 deaths, though the real number is probably higher. None of this is said directly. It's absorbed through context, through the way people lower their voices when they say his name, through the way armed men snap to attention when he shifts in his chair. You sing for 3 hours. You sing the old corridos, the ones about Malverde and Lamberto Quintero. You sing newer ones about operations and betrayals. Don Aurelio watches every song with an expression you can't read. When you finish, he waves you over. Up close, he's smaller than you expected. Ordinary looking, the kind of face you'd forget in a crowd. But his eyes are like looking into a well with no bottom. You have a gift, he says. People believe you when you sing. That's rare. He offers you a position, not as a random performer at parties. Something more specific. He wants you to be his personal singer, his chronicler. You'll write corridos about him, about his organization, about their victories and their enemies. You'll perform at his events, travel with his people, become the voice of his empire. The salary is 200,000 pesos a month, plus expenses, plus protection. You think about your mother. You think about the surgery. You think about the 2 years of savings you don't have. You say yes. The first 6 months feel like a fever dream. You travel in armored SUVs. You sleep in safe houses with marble floors. You eat at restaurants where the bill exceeds what you used to make in a week. Your mother gets her surgery. The best surgeon in Guadalajara. A private room, full recovery. You tell her you signed with a music label. She doesn't ask questions. Maybe she knows. Maybe she doesn't want to know. Your job is simple at first. You write corridos that glorify Don Aurelio's organization. You sing about shipments that arrived successfully, about rivals who were defeated, about loyalty and honor, and the code of the mountains. The songs spread through Sinaloa like wildfire. Teenagers memorize your lyrics. Radio stations play your tracks despite official bans. You become famous, not under your own name, but under the name they gave you, El Ruiseñor del Norte, the Nightingale of the North. You tell yourself you're just a musician. You tell yourself you don't pull triggers or move product or make decisions that end lives. You're an artist, a storyteller. The violence exists with or without your songs. But the songs matter more than you want to admit. Every corrido you write is a recruitment tool. Young men hear your lyrics about respect and riches and revenge, and they show up at the plaza looking for work. Every song about a successful operation is a message to rivals. We're winning, and everyone knows it. Every tribute to a fallen Sicario is a promise. Die for us, and you'll be immortalized. Your words have consequences. You just don't see them directly, until you do. 18 months in, Don Aurelio summons you to a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. It's midnight. The air smells like rust and something else you don't want to identify. Inside, a man is tied to a chair. His face is swollen beyond recognition. Blood pools beneath him like a dark mirror. This man, Don Aurelio says, betrayed us. He sold information to our enemies. Because of him, we lost a shipment. We lost people. You don't know why you're here. You're a singer. This isn't your world. I want you to watch, Don Aurelio continues. I want you to understand what your songs are really about. The glory you sing about. This is where it comes from. This is the price. What happens next takes 7 minutes. You don't look away. You can't. It's a test. And you know what failing means. That night, you write a corrido about the traitor, about his betrayal and his punishment. You sing it at Don Aurelio's birthday party a week later. The crowd roars with approval. You smile because that's what performers do. Inside, something has cracked, but you keep singing. Year 3. You're deep now, deeper than you ever imagined. You've performed at weddings of plaza bosses. You've sung at funerals for sicarios. You've written corridos for 5 different organizations that all fall under Don Aurelio's umbrella. Your music plays on both sides of the border. You've been interviewed by journalists who treat you like a cultural phenomenon. You've also seen things that won't wash off. You've watched men beg for mercy that never came. You've seen bodies that didn't look human anymore. You've heard conversations about operations that made news headlines the next day. And you knew exactly what was coming before the first shot was fired. You're complicit. Not in the legal sense, maybe. You've never touched a weapon or a kilo. But morally, spiritually, you're as stained as any of them. Your songs are their anthems. Your voice is their propaganda. The money piles up in accounts you barely access. 4.7 million pesos saved. Enough to disappear, start over, become someone else in some city where no one's heard of El Ruiseñor del Norte. But that's not how this works. You know too much. You've seen too many faces. You've attended too many meetings where names were spoken and plans were made. Walking away isn't an option. Walking away is treason. The end begins with a phone call. A journalist from Mexico City wants to interview you. She's writing about narco culture, about the music that glorifies it, about the singers who live inside the machine. You're supposed to decline. You're supposed to send her to the PR people, the handlers, the approved spokespersons. Instead, you meet her at a coffee shop in Mazatlan. She's younger than you expected. Sharp eyes. A recorder on the table that she says is turned off. You talk for 3 hours. You don't confess anything specific. But you talk about the weight, about the things you've seen, about the way a song can be a weapon or a tombstone or both. You talk about wanting something you can't name. Maybe forgiveness, maybe escape, maybe just acknowledgement that you're not a monster, just a man who made choices and now can't unmake them. She publishes the article 6 weeks later. It goes viral. You didn't say anything incriminating, not directly. But between the lines, the meaning is clear. El Ruiseñor del Norte is having doubts. El Ruiseñor del Norte might be looking for a way out. El Ruiseñor del Norte is no longer reliable. Don Aurelio calls you to his ranch. He's not angry. That's worse than anger. He's calm, measured, almost sad. I trusted you, he says. I made you. I gave you everything. You try to explain. It was just an interview. You didn't name names. You didn't reveal operations. You just talked about feelings, about music, about culture. He shakes his head slowly. In this business, doubt is the same as betrayal. If you're not certain, you're dangerous. If you're dangerous, you're a problem. Problems get solved. He gives you a choice. the first choice you've had in years. Option 1. You stay. You recommit. You write a corrido about the journalist. Make her a villain, a liar, a government puppet trying to destroy the truth. You perform it everywhere. You prove your loyalty with words that cannot be taken back. Option 2. You leave. Not through the front door, through the back. The kind of leaving that involves a desert and a shallow grave. You have until morning to decide. That night, alone in a guest room with guards outside, you think about everything that led you here. The cantina where it started, the napkin with the phone number, your mother's surgery, her smile when she woke up healthy, the first paycheck, the first song, the first time you understood what you were really doing and kept doing it anyway. You could run, but they'd find you. You could fight, but against what? The guitar sits in the corner of the room. The same guitar you've carried since you were 16. The same guitar that made you who you are. First a singer, then a chronicler, then something you don't have a word for. You pick it up, you start writing. At dawn, you walk downstairs. Don Aurelio is waiting with coffee and a question on his face. You hand him the paper, the lyrics to your new corrido. The one about the journalist who tried to destroy everything, who spread lies and confusion, who attacked an honest singer just trying to make music. He reads it twice, then he nods. "Play it for me," he says. You play. Your voice doesn't shake, your fingers don't tremble. You've made your choice. When the song ends, Don Aurelio smiles for the first time since you arrived. "Welcome back, Ruiseñor. I knew you understood." You smile too, because that's what performers do. You perform the song that night at a party for the organization's anniversary. The crowd cheers louder than ever. Your name is chanted. Your legend grows. The journalist receives threats until she leaves the country. And you? You keep singing. 5 more years. 10 more years. However many years Don Aurelio gives you before he doesn't need a voice anymore, before you become a liability, before younger singers with cleaner hands take your place. Your guitar feels heavier now than it did that first night in the cantina. Not the weight of wood and strings, that you know by heart. It's the weight of everything you chose to carry, everything you chose to become. Every note you'll sing from now until the night someone decides your song is finished. The music never stops, not for you. But sometimes, late at night, you wonder what your voice sounded like before it learned to lie so beautifully. If you stayed until the very end, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments, whether you liked it or not. Your feedback really helps us improve. Leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and on the screen you'll see another video I'm sure you'll enjoy. Big hug, and see you in the next time.